Last time on Creating More, we rounded up every single type of sapling in the world, made this giant tree farm complete with a tiny little train, and built a crazy storage for the wood. Today I'm going to finish the tree farm with a nice building and build a gantry crane to load the wood onto a cargo monorail that will take the wood back to my main base. Got a general form of what's going on here, so we've got kind of this rounded part right here, and then right here, this is where the trains are going to go through, and then it's going to have this long piece here that's going to go into like another larger bit right here where the actual like sort of traveling train that goes around the world is going to load up all the wood. All right, I've made a little bit more progress. I really like this right here, this sort of long section. I really don't like how I tied it into the front, so I need to change that up somehow. I've come up with a little detail for the sides, these kind of brick thingies. Okay, yeah, I think that looks pretty good along the side here. I tried to put in some windows up here. I do not like these windows. I'm going to do something different, but I do like the two stripes. It just needs a little bit of detail in between the two. Oh yes, I like that very much. This part needs some definite work over here. I don't know what's going on there. I was also trying something out right here, and I'm not so sure about that either. By the way, this weird blue stuff is called Blue Loco Metal from Steam and Rails. Great Steam and Rails, yeah. Okay, I'm working on an almost complete redesign here, and it looks like a mess. Okay, so here we go, and I think that looks a lot better than what it was. I did like the sloping aspect of what I had before, but I think this just looks better. You know what makes a huge difference? Taking this kind of foundation thing off. Originally this was supposed to be, you know, a foundation, but it's so much better without it. Alright, so I think I've got the basic part of the outside exterior done. This is kind of the main structure here. I'm very much liking it. The next thing I want to do is kind of address the roof. So I'd like to make like a tower on the side of this thing. And I kind of want to make it like right here. Okay, I think that's a good height for this little tower. Okay, I've done a little bit of work on it. Got a little tower thingy. Okay, overall, I think this is looking pretty good so far. We just need to do a little bit of detail work now. You know, maybe we'll do this as a little mini montage. Okay, I think that is looking pretty good so far. I'm very much liking all the detail. This tower thing actually turned out a lot better than I had anticipated, and it looks a lot better now. I've been trying to figure out a way to incorporate some of the wood that we've been harvesting into our actual build. So this is what I've come up with down here, and I quite like this. These are rainbow eucalyptus, and this right here is witch hazel. And I think they complement each other really well, actually. Then we have this ebony planks right here, and I think that looks good. So I actually like this pattern quite a bit, and I think I'm just gonna, you know, butter it across here. Okay, well, after buttering that pattern across the floor, it looked like the floor of a casino, which in itself is quite cool, but also not what I was going for. So what I decided to do was do these mixture of fir planks, aspen planks, and Zelkova planks with a little stripe of gray concrete down the center, and I very much like this. Down here, this is where our train will come in, and I actually sealed this off with a wall of some diorite variants from Chipped, and then I made kind of like a little sort of office or something. All right, next I want to go ahead and tackle this upper portion, and sort of what I'm thinking is maybe putting in some of the variants of the different wood types up here. But first, something really simple we can do is go ahead and place in some brass casings along here. Okay, the other thing we need to put in is these belts that are going to take whatever we select out and put them over here, which eventually is going to be where we're going to load them onto the train, which means we're going to link them with these chain drives. And then I think we can just hook this in with a chain drive right here. That. Yep, and it's even going the right direction. Okay, then we can just link this with some of those, and that should do it. I went ahead and put in all of those different stripped pieces with the planks. I was going to do all this brass catwalk, but I decided to do the gray concrete instead. It just looks better, and it's a neutral color that will allow us to really see the colors of the different wood types. And then at the end, I extended these so that they, well, extend. And then that way we can open up the end of this thing to go into this room that's not built yet. I think this is looking pretty good. So next we need to do a little bit of engineering in here and figure out exactly where these things are going to go, these belts. I think what I want to put in here is a gantry system. So like a gantry crane that will actually load vaults and unload vaults and shipping containers from the train. Okay, I flattened out the terrain where I wanted to make a big train depot thingy. Filled it up with a bunch of cobblestone. I think we're good. Now what I want to do is place in the floor, which I think I'm going to do largely out of the same diorite and etched diorite that we've been doing before. All right, so I've made the flooring for the whole thing. This is very good. So we have a very large area right here where we can put our storage containers and generally just run around. And then here we have 2 lanes of monorail. This right here is actually monorail track right here. And then we have 2 lanes of it so we can bring in two monorail train thingies. And next what I want to do is I want to build a gantry system which will pick up these shipping containers. Here's one. It's a little on the short side, but this is what they're going to look like. And move them and then stick them onto the train. So we're up here on top of our gantry shaft, and we are putting it in very carefully, one little shaft at a time. All right, and here comes the crazy part. We need to put in a clutch and a gear shift. That way we can control the left-right motion, the forward-backwards motion, and then that should do it, right? Okay, next I'm using this yellow slashed loco metal as sort of a framework for this thing. And I'm going to use these redstone links to power the actual gantry shafts, to power these, the clutch and the gear shift, another clutch and another gear shift, and then the pulley will go there. Okay, so our gantry system is now all in place. It actually works. Let me kind of give a little demonstration. So if I click this lever, it'll move us that way. And then if I click that, then now we have access to be able to move the other one. But I think we're too far. So let's move it back a little bit. Whoopsie. And now you can see that that is going the wrong direction. So now we need to switch this one to get it to go the right direction. And then we can flip this one once it gets there. There we go. And now our little deal has gone down. The sticker, that is. And then so we press this to activate the sticker. And then we can pick up our crate thingy, vault, storage container, whatever. And then we can move it about. If I click the right lever. Nope, that's not the right one. Yeah, so we got to click this to lock it in place. And then we can click this and this. And now we can move it that way. And then we can click that to relock it in place. It's a little wild the way that it works. Okay, so now I'm just working on trying to build out this gantry thing to make it look real. All right, so everything is looking really good. I like this. I added in another bar across here that moves with the contraption and super glued it together. I think that looks quite nice. Now, the thing I'm really struggling with is how to make this work, because I want the items to come from our storage up above, fall down these chutes, and then go into these storage containers. Okay, I think in general I've got this figured out now. So the items are going to come off the end of these conveyors. They're going to drop down into these chutes, and then they're going to come here onto this belt. And this belt is actually controlled by a gear shift, which will take it either left or to the right. And then that's going to take the items to some stations where basically it's just going to be a funnel. And that funnel will go into one of the crates, one of the shipping containers. I think everything is good, and I've moved one of our shipping containers as a full-size one now, where it needs to be, sort of. Okay, all we have to do now is just build up the wall around this thing and then decorate it. Okay, I've got one wall of the thing built, and geez, this is big. Okay, not only have I completed all 4 walls, but I have completed the roof as well, and I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like it needs some detail, which I need to work on, and I shall do so now. I'm honestly really sort of struggling with details here because, I don't know. I'm just struggling with details lately. Okay, I think I actually did some details on the ceiling here that I'm pretty proud of. Right here we've got some, like, antennas. Then I did 3 fans. If you look in there, there's actually a redstone contact that makes the center of the fan, but the grate's there. And this is some ebony. And then I have 2 of these little air conditioning boxes with some antennas on them. And then this little thing right here is actually really functional because it's where I get onto the roof from this little ladder right here. So it's actually a necessary, like, little house thing. And then on the back here, I'm working on this box, which is essentially an extension of our gantry crane thing that kind of stuck out the back. Okay, we'll just finish off this box from the inside here. Okay, I'm working out something over these doors. I think I like this look, but with the slabs instead of the trapdoors. Like, for some reason, that looks good. Next, I've added in some stairs right here. These are ebony stairs, and I think they look really good. Along there is like some sort of venting thing or just a cool feature. Okay, I did a similar thing on the middle. On the back side here, I've added in another fan. Okay, inside here, it's going to be relatively open. I am going to be putting in a few more of these crate thingies. And then we have a bit of patterned glowstone that I put on the ground here. That looks nice instead of the torches. And then I also put these lanterns, you can see one right there, all around to light up the edges. And I feel like that's going to do a pretty good job keeping this place lit up. The other thing I want to do in here is I want to make this kind of like an office. Alrighty, well, I've done a little bit more detailing on the interior here. I've put in a couple more of these crate thingies. What are they called? They're called shipping containers. I cannot think of the name. Anyway, I finished this thing, this sort of office area, and I quite like it. In here, I built like a big table, and I downloaded another mod called XKR's Decoration. You can see it on the screen at the top there, if your YouTube is big enough. And it puts these things in here, these little control panel thingies, which I think is cool, and these chairs and a bunch of other little decorative things, like these little calligraphy pads or something. Then I put these ebony bridge stairs here for a little bit of like catwalk stuff going upwards into these upper offices. Just more of the same sort of thing in these upper offices, except there is a map right here, which is completely incomplete. And then down in here, we have some different things dealing with wood. So we have Paladin's furniture, little workbench, and then just a couple of tables to make it look more fancy. And then we also have this carpenter's table, and again, some more workbenches to make it look more fancy. And some random things here. I was thinking about adding in a paper maker, but I need to download another mod that goes along with Farmer's Delight. That's what it's called. And then over here we have some mechanical saws. This one's set up to strip oak wood at the moment. And then we have, this is supposed to be like a little crane or something that's going to lower this wood onto the saw blade. Just some detail-y looking stuff that I thought looked pretty cool. I decorated this little office, and I did a little bit more decoration to this upper tower thing. The next thing I'd really like to do in here is I found these linked controllers within Create. So basically I can right-click and I can use my my keyboard, you know, A, W, S, D, whatever, and space and then shift to sort of push these buttons on this pad. And if I link it to some of our, whatever these things are called, these little redstone linky things, then I should be able to control this. Okay, I would say that it's working. It might take a little bit of getting used to, but it does work. Okay, that's pretty cool. And even cooler, I can put it on this lectern right here, and I can actually activate it from the lectern. Oh, it's so fun to just move this thing around. The last thing I want to do before we start working on our monorail is I want to decorate this a little bit so that it looks kind of overgrown and stuff. Okay, just putting the last finishing touches on a few leaves here. And there we go. I think this build is done. Let's take a look around. I did quite a bit of this around just to kind of make this fit into the landscape a bit. I like it very much. Very much. I also did a little bit of gravel and tuff down here at the base, just around in some spots, and I think that makes it just kind of sink into the land a little bit better. It's amazing what just a few blocks in the right place can do. I really like it. This is what I had envisioned, something like this in my mind. So I'm actually standing right in the middle of where I want to future build a storage system for the world. This is also where the monorail track will begin and where it will end. So basically I want it to come from here. I want it to go up this direction. I want it to go over and through here. I want it to go across these islands. Then I want it to go over here, around this little lake thing at the top, and then over and around. I believe this is like a plateau, so I think I'm going to build a tunnel through it. And then over here to where we have our tree farm over here on the left. And then it's going to come past that. It's going to come southwards. I think I'm going to take it all the way through this swamp, this like cypress swampland, and then bring it back this way down here, across this, up and around, and back through. All right, so I've made it about halfway to the farm over here. So that's like maybe a quarter of the way around, if. It's actually just a little bit difficult to kind of go through this landscape. Okay, I built a thing. Here's the thing. It has some drills, and it has these roller things in the front so that we can clear the track that we made. I tested it in this area right here, and it seems to work nicely. And then I can get on it and just ride it manually. So no schedule or anything, obviously, because there's no schedule to have. But I think this is going to be fine. I'm at the halfway point. Should I connect this thing up now or do it later? That is an awfully deep pit. Okay, so my original plan was to continue southwards here, but I think what I'm going to do is go over here into the Forgotten Forest. Well, maybe the Forgotten Forest is forgotten for a reason. Okay, so I've had to come back to our factory to get some more monorail, and at this point it's actually easier to go the other way around than to go all the way back to where I left off, which was over here in the bayou right here. So what I'm going to do is work southwards and westwards now. Okay, once I connect that rail to that rail, we will have connected the entire loop. So get this at level 67, I think. And then just drag this one to here. There we go. And I think I can just connect this like this. There we are. Can I stand on there? Yeah. And then hit control, and there we go. You know, it's funny, I almost forgot why we were doing this in the first place. Well, now I'm doing something that will probably almost certainly end up in my death. There's not spikes down there or anything. Just no, not at all. Not any spikes. Okay, so I wasn't able to go straight across because that's too sharp, apparently. So I was able to go this way. And I think that's okay. I think that kind of works, maybe? Okay, this is really weird. My little contraption thingy is inside of our I almost said hangar bay. I've got this all figured out now, so trains can come in and out of this area either this way or that way, and they can also go into either of the bays in here. And then that rail goes all the way around over on the other side of this meadow, and it goes and connects back into the main line, and then it comes off the main line where you saw earlier. And with that, I think we are ready to build the actual monorail itself. We're back at our little factory garage thing, and I've laid out some monorail in here to allow us to build, and we're all set. Now I have an idea that's all basically fleshed out because I built it in a creative world. I'm very happy with it, so I'm just gonna crack on and build it. Okay, I'm building the thing out of this slash loco metal and black brass wrapped loco metal. That's a mouthful. And I'm also going to be using these copycat panels for the sides as well, just to give it more room inside of the train. And here comes the really expensive part, the brass blocks. Okay, we're going to use some of this loco metal on these panels while we're getting shot by a skeleton. Down here I'm going to be using some copycat slabs, if I can get them to place in right. Those are going to be brass right there. All right, more copycat slabs are going to form the roof, and then next to those, some panels. There it goes. Okay, a couple of copycat stairs in the back with some more brass blocks. Okay, some of the brass bordered loco metal stuff right there. Some more regular black loco metal for the ceiling here. Okay, on the one in creative, I actually did this a slightly different way. But basically what I want to do is I want to make the windows like half slabs. So yeah, how am I going to do that? Well, basically I take two copycat slabs like this, and I can actually color them differently. So on this one, I'm going to use that texture. And on this one here, I'm going to use this texture. Okay, and then I'm going to take these brass windows and make them the other part. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks cool. That looks even cooler than the way I did it in the other one. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, now what I did on the one in creative is I actually put these panels on here. These are called copycat half panels, like that. And that gives it a little bit more standout kind of texture to it that I like. I'm going to do a similar thing up here in the back. Just have this pop out a little bit more. Okay, well these are quite interesting to make. It's a copycat buffer. Okay, they're not quite as pretty as the trapdoors I wanted, but we have some brass trapdoors here that we can use, and this will work. They're not quite the right color. It's a little weird. They're a little too bright. Got our train controls and a seat now. Okay, in the back here we've got a fusion reactor. Just kidding, it's just some fancy blue glass and a barrel to put some coal in. All right, next I'm putting together our train cars here. So these are going to be the ones that are going to contain and hold the shipping containers. Okay, and in the middle of each one, we're going to place in our sticker. Okay, there we go. Now I put in some shafts and a button here to activate the sticker on each side. Okay, so now I'm putting in these little half panels that are going to look like they're holding the shipping container onto the train car. Okay, I want to hide a couple of portable storage interfaces on here. That way we have options so that if we do want to use this without having to unload the actual crate thingy all the time. Why can't I remember what the crates are called? Shipping container. If I don't want to unload those all the time, we can use the storage interfaces. Okay, so I think we are now ready to glue this thing together. Okay, I think everything is all glued up. We will find out shortly when we move this train to our new track. Okay, it's on the main line. That's good. I think we got it going. I think we can give it a go.